What's up, everybody? In this episode, I'm flying solo for the first time in 34 episodes, and we're going to be covering everything and anything I can think of in sales.
If you own a gym or you need a gym, this is your guy.
My name's Mike, and I help fitness studios that are ready to take action, work hard, and grow their studios. In this very saturated industry, there's tons of competition, but the opportunities are incredible. We'll cover the most common challenges in the fitness world and invite guests in the show that have learned to overcome them and share their strategies with you. This is the GSD Show. All right, so you may be asking yourself why I decided I want to do this solo. I wanted to do it because I have different philosophies on sales that I've actually learned, not just from different coaches, but also from different books that I've read and conferences. I'm a huge student of sales. It's actually one of my favorite topics. And I wanted to make sure that I got the message across to you the way that I truly believe in it. And we're going to bring guests on the show to talk about sales down the road as well. But this one was real special to me as it's my favorite topic. And I wanted to make sure I delivered it in the way I believe in. Sound good, Sam?
That's great.
All right, cool. So first things first, let's cover if you're even a salesperson, because you may be listening and going, I don't even know if this episode's worth listening to because I'm actually not a salesperson. Well, if you own a business, actually, even if you're in a part of the business in general, you are a salesperson. You're selling all the time. And a lot of people have a hard time dealing with that because we've gotten this bad taste in our mouth when we hear the term sales. And it's no fault of our own. We just grew up this way. When we grew up, we had people that were selling us terribly, and whether it was people selling our parents and we were watching it, selling them a car, selling them a house, selling them a pool for the backyard or whatever it was. And we just got to witness bad salesperson after bad salesperson because most salespeople aren't really fine-tuned and trained and are trained to create win-win situations to where they're delivering an amazing product for the right person. We don't want to be salespeople. We want to be associated the furthest thing possible from being a salesperson because of that. You need to cut that out, and you need to just understand you are a salesperson. And I am, and I believe I am, and I love being one because I know that I do it the right way. And what I mean by the right way is and those that know me know this is how I do it. They've seen me do it here. I will not sign somebody up unless I know that I'm actually going to help them, unless I'm going to actually solve the problem that they're currently going through and take away that pain that they want to get away from. If I feel like I'm not going to be a good fit and it's not going to be a win-win, I don't bring them on board, and nobody should because it's worse. That person's going to be a nightmare throughout the entire time they're working with you. You're going to feel terrible about it. Every time they call, you're not going to want to answer. They're not going to refer you. They're not going to upgrade. They're never going to be your best customer. So you shouldn't have made the sale in the first place. It actually, in the long run, will cost you more to bring them on board than if you just focused on letting him go and find another person that fits the program a little bit better. Now they're going to get the referrals, they're going to get the repeat and the upgrades, and they're going to talk about you really great, testimonial videos, so much more value than just what they're paying for your services, as all those things really count as marketing materials and sales materials as well. So you need to love your product and you need to love your service and believe in it, and also believe that it's going to help the person that you're sitting across from when you're making that sale. Some people are going to say, yeah, but Mike, I'm just not the sales type. I have plenty of friends and plenty of family members that are stuck with that way of thinking that'll tell you, I'm not the sales type. I'm not a salesperson. That's not my way. I don't like being a salesperson. Yet, go ahead and have a conversation with them about what the best sports team is. Watch them become a salesperson. Go ahead and tell an iPhone person that Droid is better. And watch that non-salesperson become a salesperson. Tell them which HBO series or AMC series is best, and they don't agree with you. Watch that person convince you why theirs is better. At the end of the day, the reason they're convincing you that Apple is better or Droid is better or the Bucks are better or whatever team they follow is better, the reason they're doing that is because they truly love and bought into that particular product or sports team or whatever it is, and they will defend that to death. And they believe that being a fan of that team or being a customer of that service or product is an amazing decision, and they think everybody should do it, and that's why they sell them. You need to be doing that when you're with your business as well. You need to understand that you have an amazing product. If you don't, fix the product, right? But you need to, if you have a great product, know you have a great product. Your goal is to get people on board. Now, it doesn't mean convince them to do it if they don't want to do it, but it's definitely about bringing the wall down and making it a win-win situation. If you know you can fix the problem, they're not buying it still, whatever reason they're telling you, that's not a product problem. It's not a buyer problem. It's a sales problem. And you may think you don't have a sales problem. The reason you may not think you have one is because everyone's told you you're good at it. Your parents, your family might have said you got the gift of gab and you're so good at talking. You should help this person with a car, and you should help them buy a car, or you should run a business. You should do sales. But who's telling you that? Are they top-notch salespeople telling you that? Or are they people that don't do sales for a living telling you that? If I ask you a question, what are the last 5 sales books that you read? Could you answer that? If the answer is no, then you probably need to work on being able to answer that and picking up some sales books and learning how to develop skill around that raw talent that your friends and family members see in you. Because I bet you do have it. If they're telling you that, you have it. But you got to develop skill around that raw talent in order to make it profitable for your business. And also make you enjoy it more, because when you have skill, the game is easier and you can enjoy the game more. Some of you may be saying, Mike, I know I'm a good salesperson based on my closing percentage. So let's talk about your closing percentage real quick. And before we get into that, let's talk about your lead sources. So are your lead sources predominantly referrals? Are you so good at what you do that you get a lot of word of mouth, a lot of customer referrals or friend referrals or family referrals? If that's the case, if that's the majority of your sit downs and you're closing at a high percentage, that doesn't count. Referrals are easy. They come to you already knowing what you do, already knowing that you can get the job done, probably already knowing what you charge and how it works, because the person that referred them sold them on sitting down with you already by giving them all this info. This person's coming in ready to go. All you have to do is take the order. You're not making a sale. You're taking an order at that point. And that doesn't count towards your closing percentage. Your closing percentage should really only be based off of a cold lead. I mean, this person doesn't know you and what you do and how you do it, or very vague at least. And they really want to understand a little bit more about how this works, because they're still kind of in the dark. And you now have to present to them why your option, whether it's a product, a service, or coaching, whatever it is, why what you offer is the solution to their problem. And if you can't do that effectively, you're not going to be able to close cold leads. And what you'll do is you'll start complaining about the leads. You'll say, the leads are bad. I need better leads. Or the leads that I've been getting don't have money. We need to find a way to target people with money. Look, everyone's got money. No one's broke. No one's living on the street that you're sitting down in front of. Everyone knows when you sit down in front of them that this thing costs money. Okay, but at the end of the day, you have to remember you're selling, most people are selling incorrectly. So we'll take the fitness industry, as obviously that's really what the show is about. Most fitness studio owners that I watch when I role play with them in coaching, or when I watch them in sits, I see what they do, and they're selling themselves as to why they're better than every other fitness studio that's like them or similar to them or wants to solve the same problem. Newsflash, they're not choosing between you and some other guy. It's not like they have a certain level. It's not like this is, okay, here I got my paycheck, and on my paycheck it goes, okay, I got $2,000, and it looks like $300 can only be used towards a car, and only $200 can be used towards groceries, and oh look, only $200 here can be used towards fitness. In fact, these currencies only work for those things. Don't try to buy, groceries with your gym budget, because it won't work. The currency won't work. It doesn't work that way. They get money, period, and they can use it however they want. So you're not competing with other fitness studios like you think. You're competing against everything. And that's with whatever industry you're in, but you're competing against everything. You're competing against the clothes that they want to buy, whether the Apple Watch that's on sale, the new car promotion that's going on, whether they want to get a new yard or a new dog, or little Joey wants to join basketball and now Susie wants to join too, so you have to sign both of them up, and both their feet grew since the last season, so now you have to go ahead and buy new shoes. All these things cost money, and your goal is not to convince them that your studio is the answer. It's to convince them that fitness is the solution to their pain. And when you tell them how they can get there, you're providing the information. You're the one they're going to buy from. But first, you got to sell them on fitness before you sell them on your studio as the one that's going to provide that solution. So next, we're going to talk about attitude. Now, everyone's a little different, so you have to be very self-aware and understand your personality. And a lot of people have a very, very poor level of self-awareness, so they don't know who they are or how they come off to people or what people's perception is. And it's a good idea to get with other professionals and really ask certain questions. I'll give you an idea of what I mean. You ever been to a comedy show, like an amateur comedy show, and you just see a comedian bomb? They just don't do a good job. And you can tell that the reason they're not doing a good job is because they're wanting to be somebody that they're not. They're not fitting into character. You guys all probably seen Chris Rock before. Imagine Chris Rock and Jerry Seinfeld. Two totally different comedians. Imagine if Jerry Seinfeld went up and did a whole bit with Chris Rock's attitude and personality. Can you imagine Jerry Seinfeld going up there like, all right, why is everybody... It just wouldn't be funny because that's not him. It doesn't fit his style. And you have to know your style. Me, I have a very energetic style and I'm very motivating. I like to motivate as much as I can. So I can be a little bit more aggressive. And in the fitness industry, most of you are this way too. You just don't know it. You're separating the business side and the fitness side, and you shouldn't. You should really know that you're one person. So what do you like when you're on the floor with your clients? Are you motivating? Are they going to be able to get away from doing 10 reps when you told them they're going to do 10 reps? Are they going to be able to escape at 8? Or are you going to motivate them and get them to do all 10? Are you going to make them do their meal plans? And are you going to get them to find a way to stay committed and stick to their meal plans? What do you do and say? How do you say it? That's how you're going to sell them to get on board. You're not going to be a different person. Everyone's different. And what I notice a lot of people make the mistake in sales and business in general, because two different areas, they like to be very confident and arrogant in business, and I'll explain what that means, and they're very humble in sales. So I'll break that down. In business, they walk around like everything's really awesome, right? I'm doing great. They meet somebody, oh yeah, we already do that. Oh no, yeah, we've done that. We've tested that. And what happens is that shuts down mentorship opportunities. Nobody wants to teach you anything. Nobody wants to show you anything because you're always shutting them down because you're very, I've been there before. I get it. I've been doing this for 20 years. Ask yourself if you've ever said that. Oh, I've been doing this for 5 years. Oh, I've been doing this for 10 years. If you've ever said that, then you're a culprit. You need to cut it out, and you need to always just listen. Even if you have done what they're telling you, listen, because they may tell you something you never heard before, okay? And you got to get great at listening anyway, because the best salespeople in the world are amazing active listeners, meaning they're hearing what you're saying, and they're not thinking about what they're going to say next and pretending they're listening. They are actively listening and tailoring the rest of their conversation based on what you're talking about, okay? So you want to be humble on the business side when you are listening to other business owners or mentors or coaches tell you how to do certain things on the business side, okay? On the sales side, however, where I see a lot of people make mistakes is they're humble in the sales side and they're not being arrogant enough or confident. And when I say arrogant, not in the bad way, a lot of people think arrogance is something you shouldn't have. You could probably tell just by watching me if you're watching or even listening on our podcast, I have a tad bit of arrogance, but I do it because I know what I'm good in. And I'm not arrogant in everything. I definitely won't be arrogant in chess because I suck at chess. In fact, I'll be the most humble person you ever meet in chess because I know I'm not good at it. But when it comes to what I do for a living, what I do every single day, what my team does out there every single day, I know I got the goods. I know I can get the job done. And so I'm going to be talking that way. I'll give you an example of how this gets people to buy into you. Okay, so let's imagine you're a basketball coach. You've been a basketball coach for 15 years and you've done everything you could to get into the big game, right? The championship game. And so you maybe made it into the playoffs a couple times. Maybe you got close, but you never made it. Now, finally, you made it to the championship game. And here you go, end of the game. The other team just scored. You call a timeout. There's 2 seconds left. And now your team is down by 1. You have 2 seconds to figure out what you're going to do. And this is a big, big part of your life. You've been dying to be in this moment. Now you got 2 players on your team that are awesome go-to players. They seem to always be able to get the job done consistently for you. You got one of them, let's call him Chuck. And Chuck comes up to you and he says, hey, coach, if you give me the ball, I'm going to do my very best to go ahead and get this done. Obviously, I'm not going to necessarily make them all. We don't make all our shots, but I'm going to do everything I can to make this shot. I've been practicing for this, and I think I can do it if you give me an opportunity. And then you get Joe, and Joe goes, coach, give me the ball. I'm going to make the shot, period. It's going to go in. Now, I want you to imagine you're this coach. 2 seconds left. Everything's riding on this. Are you going to give it to the first guy, or are you going to give it to Joe? My bet is saying that you're saying, I'll give it to Joe. And I don't know about you, but I would give it to Joe because something tells me that his confidence, that arrogance is going to make him find a way to do it where the other guy already kind of gave himself a little bit of an out if it doesn't work. And that humble attitude was what allowed him to do that. So when you're sitting down with somebody, if you know you can make the shot, Let's say you are a personal trainer, you own a fitness studio, whatever it is, and the person in front of you wants to lose 15, 20 pounds, and you know by all the questions that you've asked that you can get them there. Tell them you can get them there. Don't be humble and say, just so you know, not everybody's able to achieve it, or everyone's different. We're going to take the program one step at a time. No. Hey, look, Sandy, how much weight do you want to lose? 15 pounds. Okay, 15 pounds isn't a hard goal. We do that all day long in our sleep. But I just want to know if you're committed. Because at the end of the day, I can do 100% of my 50%, but I want to know for a fact you can do 100% of your 50%. If you could do that, 15 pounds is a breeze. Walk in the park. We'll do this together inside of 3 months. Can you do it? That arrogance, I want on board. Sandy wants on board with that. Test it out if you haven't yet. You may be thinking, I don't know if that'll work for me. Well, that's the type of attitude that's going to get you to never do anything new outside of your comfort zone. And you got to live outside your comfort zone. You as fitness professionals know that. You preach that all day long, don't you? So use it yourself in business. Next thing is you got to ask great questions. You don't judge a person's intelligence by the answers they give you, but by the questions that they ask. And I truly believe that. And think about it. If I'm asking you as a business owner, hey, so what's your average acquisition cost? What do you typically pay in your marketing in order to get a customer? If you don't know that answer, it kind of feels a little weird, right? You think you should. But more importantly, do you know that I know that answer? You're probably betting I do. You're assuming I do. If I say, hey, so tell me, what kind of a salary cap do you guys have for your employees? What percentage do you typically like to keep them? If you don't know that answer, probably wondered maybe I should know that answer. And it got you thinking. But you definitely know one thing. I know that answer, right? Because I wouldn't have asked the question. So you know what I know based on the questions that I ask. And you have to ask really, really great questions. And you got to get to the pain quickly. And we're going to cover that too. One thing that's really good about questions is that it teaches you quickly, if you're paying attention, about what type of person you're talking to. And what I mean by that is, are they the type of person that goes towards pleasure? Few people are like this. Or are they the type of person that goes away from pain? Meaning, are they wanting to do this because they want to get in the best shape of their life, or they want to be able to be on top of a stage one day and compete as a physique competitor? Is that the type of personality they are? Or are they just tired of being this way? Have they let themselves go? Do they miss being the way they were and they think being in shape is a thing of their past and they're wondering if it's something that could be a part of their future? If that's the way they are, then you know you're going to tailor it a little differently. Here, you're going to be a little bit more motivating and inspiring. Here, you're going to ask more painful questions because you want to dig into that. You want to get to the root of it. Why is it bothering you, though? And you find out as you keep going that it could be because of their husband not paying attention to them. Or it could be because this little boy told them that, or asked them if they were pregnant and they clearly weren't. So many different things could have come up that triggered that pain, and it continues to live on. And once you can get them to say it to you, the level of trust builds because they told you something they probably haven't told many people. Trust is really important. Let's talk about trust a little bit too. You want to find a way to make people laugh. Now, we talked a little bit about this in the Kelly Schmidt episode. I think that was episode 3. I'm not sure. But you want to make people laugh. And it's important because I want you to think about people that you do make laugh or make you laugh. So think about the person you trust the least, like somebody you just do not trust at all. Close your eyes. Who do I trust less than anyone in the world? You got him or her? Can that person truly make you laugh? Can that person get your stomach to hurt because you're laughing so hard because they're just so damn funny? Chances are they can't, because people you don't trust at all are just not funny to you. Now, how does that tie into sales? Because it can work both ways. You can trick their brain to believing they trust you by getting them to genuinely laugh. So if you can make somebody laugh, your brain takes that and goes, I must trust this person. Now, consciously, they're not thinking this, right? But subconsciously, on the back end, this is what's happening. They're developing trust for you because your body and your brain knows, your mind knows that I can't laugh at someone I don't trust. That's history. I've been this way. So get them to laugh. A great way to do that is by definitely not being bigger than you should be, right? There's a phrase that I was taught by one of my sales coaches, I'm not okay, so you're okay. You notice some comedians do a really great job of kind of poking a little humor at themselves, making fun of themselves a little bit. Now, not being, lack of self-esteem, right? Don't say like, I suck at everything in the world. How come he's not laughing? You don't want to be like that, right? But poke jokes at yourself. I've poked jokes at my eyebrows before. I got big, thick eyebrows. I think everybody knows it. My nose is a little big. That's okay. I'm short. We get it. I know where I'm at, but I'm okay with it. And I'll use it. And see, Sam just laughed, but he's laughing again, right? And, oh, by the way, if you call out someone laughing, they laugh. It's so funny. But anyway, you want to find a way to not be okay sometimes so they can be okay. The more not okay you are, the more okay they are. It's a really cool thing that I learned, and I definitely want you guys to take that with you. Another great thing, never talk about yourself. Do that as little as possible. Man, I can't tell you how many times people mess up on this. They think that talking about themselves when appropriate, which it's not very appropriate in most cases, they think when appropriate, it helps build rapport. So for example, how many kids do you have, right? I'm the salesperson. How many kids do you have? Oh, I have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. Oh, wow, I have 3 kids too. Why are you talking about that? Shut up. No one wants to hear about your damn kids. Have you ever been totally intrigued about a stranger's kids? Have you ever noticed somebody flip open their wallet and you just go like, this is amazing. I'm so glad my day is so much better now that I've watched these pictures of these kids I don't know from this person I don't even know either. No. Don't talk about your kids. I know why you do it. I used to do it too. You do it because you feel like by relating to the person, by having something in common, you're building rapport. You're not. Okay? Because everyone does that. You want to separate yourself. You want to be a pattern interrupt from everybody else. Everyone does that. So think about this girl. Think about a woman that you know that has kids, right? And let's call her Joni, right? So Joni goes to a party with all of her other girlfriends. They all have kids too. And Joni tells a story about her kids and goes, oh man, little Mikey was so funny yesterday. He came home and blah, blah, blah. And she tells a story about how funny Mikey was, right? What happens? Do you think the other girls are going, tell us more about Mikey? No, the other girls are racing to talk first about their kid. Oh, Cindy did the same thing. Cindy comes home sometimes, and then next thing you know, everyone's talking about their kid and how funny they are. And it's always a competition. If you say your kid's bad, oh, my kid he's a nightmare. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't do this. And the other person, oh, my kid too. He was so colicky. And it's just like, stop. No one wants to hear about it. And we do it because we think it builds rapport. It doesn't. It doesn't. It creates separation. So be the one person that for the first time ever actually wants to hear strictly about you. Joni, right? I don't want to talk about me. I'm here to learn about you. That's why you're here. You're here to find out if this service is right for you. We're not going to get anywhere talking about me and my kids. So talk about them. Find out who they are. Everyone's favorite topic in the whole world. You know what it is? Themselves. Not football. Maybe it's a close second. Right?
Or basketball.
Basketball is my close second, right? But you definitely want to talk about themselves. By doing that, they forget they're in a pitch because they enjoy this conversation. It's their favorite topic. Think about it. If you're talking to somebody, you have an engaged conversation, and over here 5 feet away, you hear somebody say your first and last name. Think about that situation. Are you still engaged 100%, or are you looking at them, still making eye contact, but you're over here listening? Right? If you saw your full name, even if it wasn't you, it was just somebody else that coincidentally had the same name as you, if you saw that on TV, you're taking a picture of it, aren't you? Or you're telling somebody, you're snapping it, or you're doing something. If you see it in a newspaper, you're talking about it. So it's our favorite topic, period, right? We've known each other for longer than anything. We're our biggest fans. We know ourselves better than anything else. We've been with each other all our lives, our pain, our struggles, our victories, everything. So we're big fans of ourselves. You may want to be humble and say, no, I'm not. Yeah, you are. Who do you like better than yourself? All right, so when you get down to the close in a sales pitch, you may notice that you start getting hit with a bunch of different objections. And they're not too different. A lot of times they're the same. You get stuff like, I need to think about it. It's the worst one, right? How much are we thinking about? Are they really going to go home and think and weigh things out? It's not like they're buying like a house. I need to think about it. Another one is, I need to talk to my husband. Another one is, I don't know if I can afford it. I don't have the money. They give you all these reasons. But let me tell you what's really going on. And I actually addressed this in a previous Facebook Live. But there's 3 things that are constantly going on in someone's mind that's convincing them to not buy from you. Now, they don't even know these things are happening, which is crazy. They think it's really those things that they're articulating to you, which is the money or all these other things. But in reality, they're going through 3 different things. Number 1, do I really need this? Number 2, do I really need this from him or her? And number 3, do I really need this right now? So let me tell you what I mean by that. And I'll give you an example so you can see. So let's say I'm a personal trainer and I'm selling somebody personal training, right? I'm going through the different steps. Now, as I'm building value, which we're going to talk about how to build value the wrong way and the right way, because most people are doing it the wrong way. So when you're building value, the whole time, those little sounds that a cash register makes, whatever, the cha-ching, cha-ching, they keep adding up in their heads. And they start going, oh man, this sounds expensive. So now what they start doing is they start selling themselves to not buy from you. And they have to come up with some really good reasons. Now, here's the thing. We've known ourselves better than anyone in the world. We practice selling to ourselves things all the time. Why I should skydive, why I shouldn't jump into that pool, why I should work out, why I shouldn't watch this movie right now. We've sold ourselves so much. We sell ourselves all day, every day. It's called making choices. And so what happens is we start creating reasons, logical, are legitimate reasons as to why we shouldn't buy right now. Why do I need this? That's what they sell themselves on. Another thing they do is they say, why do I need this from him? Right? So now while I'm talking and selling, they're going, I don't know if this is the guy though. I mean, maybe I should shop around. Maybe I should see what else is out there. I heard this place is a little cheaper. I know my friend told me about this place. Maybe I should call there first before making a decision, AKA think about it, right? And so that's the second thing. And the next thing is, why now? Maybe it's just bad timing for me. I mean, maybe I should just wait until January to get started, and that's kind of New Year resolution. Or maybe I should wait until tax returns come in, or maybe I should wait until, the summer kicks in, or man, I should have done this a while ago. Maybe now it's too late. Whatever the reason is, they're coming. This is what they're doing. Why this? Why with him? And why now? Those are the three things. So you need to ask these questions right from the very beginning to nip those in the butt and not have to deal with them thinking about that. Because if you can get them to not think about that at all during the pitch, you've got them. So start out by building rapport. And I think everybody thinks they know how to build rapport, right? You ask questions. Hey, so how are you? Good. Do you live far from here? Oh, yeah, I live like 5-10 minutes away. Okay, awesome. So do you have family? You have kids? What's going on? Now, so far, you're not doing a bad job if you're asking these questions. You're getting to know them. But just remember, where you're going to fall short, where most people mess up, is you start to relate. You don't want to relate. So, oh, I live over in this community. Oh, actually, I live not too far from there. What does that matter? Are they going to sell? Are they going to be more likely to buy or sell because you live in a similar community? Are they going to be more likely to buy or sell because you have kids? No. So cut it out and just talk about them, right? Keep building rapport by asking them questions about them. Now, you don't build rapport for too long because you got to get to it, right? You got to get to the whole meat and potatoes of the whole thing because they don't want to be here forever listening to you. And the longer you talk, the farther you are from making a sale, because time and fear together is what hurts people from buying. Grant Cardone talks about this. Fear, when you're afraid to do something, time will intensify that fear. So if you're afraid to buy a house, the more you wait to buy that house, the more reasons you come up to validate why you shouldn't buy that house. It's better to do it as quickly as you can. So make the pitch quick. So you ask a few questions, you get to know them a little bit. And once you do that, you make them laugh, find a way to make them laugh somehow. Then you go, get right to it. So I'm going to show you how to get right to it. You go, hey, so I know you came in here. Obviously, you know what we do here. And I know a little about you now. You obviously wanted personal training, or at least you want to know a little bit more about it. Why do you think having a personal trainer is a good idea? Right? So now what you're doing is you're not saying, why do you want a personal trainer? Because they may not. You don't want to assume that strong. But why do you think having a personal trainer is a good idea? Now, once you ask that question, they're going to start answering intelligently because they know that they need to back up why. And so they're going to say, well, I just feel like having a personal trainer is going to hold me accountable. I feel like I just need that person there. Or education. I just feel like I don't know what to do. I get in the gym and I'm kind of lost. I feel like I'm not working my hardest because I don't really know what I'm doing, or I don't want to hurt myself. Or I don't know what to eat. I heard nutrition's all these things, right? They start telling you whatever reason to them, not to you, not why you as the trainer think they should have a personal trainer. You are listening to them tell you why they believe a personal trainer is a good idea. Okay, which is great. Now that they articulate all those reasons, they won't have that thought in their head. They've answered that thought. They can't close themselves anymore on that. So now they answer and you go, sounds good. Well, Diana, I know that I know there's a million personal trainers out there. Some of them are actually quite a bit cheaper than me. Why me? Why not the other million trainers? Why are you sitting down here with me? Now they'll start articulating all the reasons that you're a great option, right? Well, I've seen your stuff on social media. I see all these people saying how you've helped them lose 15, 20 pounds, or I've seen them do this. I've watched your blogs and your video blogs. I thought they were awesome. Whatever the reason is, I was referred to you. All the reasons that they should buy from you, they're going to tell you, not you. Because maybe you saying, oh yeah, I'm nationally certified, or I was actually on The Biggest Loser and I helped coach them, or nobody cares about that. If they cared about it, they would have brought it up. They don't care about it. You care about it. You think that's why people buy from you. Everyone buys from people for different reasons. And by asking questions and letting them tell you, you find out why they're buying from you, and you can tailor the rest of your conversation. So now they answered why they should buy from you. Okay, awesome. Well, I guess one more question for you. Why now? I mean, why not like 6 months ago? Why didn't I see you then? Or why not, in a few months when your tax returns come in? Or why not do what everyone does and start in January, New Year resolution month? Why now? Guess what they're going to do? They're going to start telling you all the reasons that they should buy from you today. I've been dragging my feet. I actually did want to do it in the summer, and I just kind of convinced myself out of it. And I feel like if I wait until tax returns, it'll never happen. I keep pushing it off. I just feel like I need to do it now. Okay, good reason. So it sounds like you definitely want a personal trainer. Sounds like I'm your guy. It sounds like you're ready to get going. Am I right? Yeah, awesome. So now you hold them accountable. So now I got to ask you, because I'll tell you right now, the people that get the best results here, we know how to get results, period. You've seen it, right? So we know how to get results. That's not a problem. The people that get the best results here are the fighters. The ones that are like, you know what? I'm a 10 in commitment. So forgetting what everybody thinks and says, I want to know from you. Scale of 1 to 10, where are you? How are you a fighter? You work hard? And they're going to tell you, yeah, right? You don't say, are you ready to be the best person, the most athletic person in the world, right? You say, are you a fighter? You ready to work hard? Everybody wants to be a fighter. Everybody thinks they're a fighter. Everybody's been a fighter. Everyone's gone through something where they've had to fight through it, and they look back and they realize how much of a fighter they really were. So we've all been fighters, and we've all been successful fighters for some reason in our past. So ask them that question. Then you say, all right, awesome. Well, that sounds good. Am I good to shake your hand now and welcome you aboard, or a high five? Am I good to have you on our roster? Now what they're going to do is they're going to probably either say yes, which is great, and now you go, let me show you the programs, and they pick one. Worst case scenario, they're going to say, well, how much does it cost? Oh, that doesn't sound like a level 10 question. Are you still level 10? I'm going to give you the pricing, but I just want to know, are you still level 10, or is that contingent on if this is like the cheapest thing in the world? Right? No, I'm a 10. All right, cool. Let me show you my programs. So this is the most popular one. This is the one that more people do, and it's clear why. I mean, it's the best one. It works really, really well. We have some more advanced ones, but truthfully for you, I think this is going to be really great, and we can always upgrade into this. What do you think? Are you on board with me on that? Are you on board with me on that? Right? That's what you want to say. So now when they say, yeah, that looks good, or what about this one? They point to a smaller one, say, oh man, you just went from a 10 to an 8. Are you an 8? No, I'm not an 8. It's just pricing wise is better. Now, if you can tell in their posture that really is an issue, then fine. You have that program there for a reason. Then just go, I know, I'm just kidding with you. I know you're still a 10. All right, you want to do this one? Let's go ahead and get it going, right? And you just sign them up. So if you got to the pain the right way in the beginning, and then you also ask these questions, you eliminated these options, they don't need to think about it. They know why they need to do it now. They know why they need to do it with you. They know why they need to do this in general. What are they going to think about? Nothing, is there? So you want to make sure that you get to those points. What a lot of people do is they spend too much time building value. And they say, oh yeah, we've been doing this for 20 years, and our trainers are some of the top trainers, and we've got this guy, we do this, and we do it this way, and we believe in this. And stop. How do you know that's what they even care about? Why are you selling a Hummer to a guy that just wants a Honda Civic and be able to get from A to B with great gas? He doesn't want a Hummer. So don't sell him something you may not want. The only way you're going to know what they want is if you ask them, what kind of car do you want? I want a car that's great on gas, that passes a lot of safety tests. Okay, great. This is one you want. I'm not even going to talk to you about the Hummer, right? It's silly. So you want to talk to people about that. And then the reason you want to hold off on building so much value is because that is what you use at the end. Once they've said yes and you got them signed up, you use the value for buyer's remorse. So you get them signed up. All right, awesome. So we're good to go. All right, so you ready to find out what you signed up for? It's pretty badass. You ready to hear it? Yeah. All right. So you may or may not know, but our coaches are all XYZ, right? Brag about your coaches. Also, one thing that we do is this, this, and this. Is that pretty cool? Yeah. So now you can build value there, but then you want to still ask one last question for buyer's remorse. Now, Sandy, before you go home, I just want to make sure I like making relationships like this. I like bringing people on board when I know for a fact that it's a win-win situation and we're both walking away from this table super excited and pumped to go ahead and get started on working on these goals. I'm super excited. I'm pumped to start working with you. I know I can get you here. And I'm excited to show you. But I want to know, when you walk away from here, are you still as excited as I am? Yeah, 100%. Awesome. That's what I like to hear. I'm excited for first day. Monday? Yeah. Okay. Shake hands. Good to go. Because you don't want them going home and dealing with their husband or whatever. You want them to sell their husband. Look, Joe, I'm committed. I want to do this. I told him. No, he didn't sell me. He asked me. He even asked at the end, if I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it. But I told him I want, and I do want to do it, right? And if Joe asks, well, why him? Why did you shop around? She's got those answers. She doesn't feel like she didn't ask that or she didn't shop around. She already feels like she knew the answer to that question because she answered it. Yeah, but why now? You couldn't wait 2 months? No, because if I wait, I never do it, right? So you want her to be able to learn in your pitch how to sell her husband if worst case scenario, he wants to sell her out of it. That's another good thing to do too. Good thing is ladies are pretty good at selling their husbands on doing stuff. Usually it's the other way around. Women are good at getting what they want. All right, now, if somebody chose to not buy from you, you want to ask them why. Okay, let's say, and I've done this before. In fact, I'll tell you about a deal that I got. We still have this client today. It's an $11,000 a month deal for us. It's our biggest deal, huge deal. And I'm not going to lie, I was scared to do this because it was my first time doing this real big deal pull away, but I did it. So basically what I did was I sat down with this company and they want to negotiate. They said, $11,000 looks like a lot of money. Is there any way we can bring it down to 9? And I said, man, I did that bad of a job, huh? And they said, what do you mean? I did a terrible job, huh? No, you did. And they said, you did everything great. Everything looked awesome. Everything was great. Yeah, but if I did everything great, you would have bought from me at 13. If I said 13, now you're making me go down to 9. What did I do wrong? Where did I suck? No, you didn't suck at all. No, you were really good. Everything was really great. It wasn't great. Listen, I appreciate the flattery, and it's really kind of you to want to make me feel better about my ability to sell something. But I'll tell you right now, you're going to help me more if you tell me where I could do better, because I may not be able to get you guys, but at least I'll get the next guy. Where could I have done better? What did you guys need to see more of? No, Mike, everything was really great. Everything was really great. Well, if it was so great, then why wouldn't you pay 15 for this? And they said, truthfully, I go, yeah, we just like to negotiate before we make a decision. And so I started laughing. I said, well, that's very cool, but if I don't negotiate, is it a no? Is it over? Or what can we do? And they said, no, it's not over. All right, so are we good at 11? Yes. All right, we shook their hands. We were ready to go. The point that I'm making there is don't negotiate. You don't want to find a price that's good for them. You want to find a price that's good for you, as long as you believe your product is worth that price. Period. If you feel like your product's not worth that price, you should readjust your pricing in the first place. But if your product is worth that price, your service is worth that or more. Frankly, you should be worth more than that, because people like to buy up, right? You don't buy a house that's $200,000 because you thought the house was worth $200,000. You buy the house for $200,000 because you thought it was worth $230,000. So you want to make sure you sell more. You want to ask some questions at the end. Wait, why? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? When they say, no, you did everything great, say, hey, look, it's okay. I know I'm not going to get your business today, and I get it. Maybe we'll get another day, and I'd love to work with you on those goals then, but I work real hard to be good and help people see why I do what I do and come on board. If I could have done one thing better in this call or in this meeting today, tell me what I could have done better, just so I could at least get the next guy. And they'll tell you, they'll say, you know what, truthfully, I didn't know if this is exactly what I needed. I needed something more like that. So if I talk less about that, that would have been better. Yeah. What you'll find when I ask that question and they start giving me answers, by me not defending myself, never be defensive. Take it. If you ask the question, be accountable, say, you're right, I should have done that better. I'll fix that. I'm going to fix that. Next time we meet, I'm going to prove it to you. And then you could ask again, hey, so look, I know I did a poor job. Thanks for giving me some things I could have done better. But if I tell you my training's better than my sales ability, would you want to come on board? Because it's way better. right? And then you can get them signed up. You may not sign them, but at least you get really great information. You're not going to make all your shots. We all know Michael Jordan didn't make all his shots, but what Michael Jordan did do every single time is he watched tape after every single game to find out what he could have done better. He had coaches and mentors, and he learned how he could have been better, because even if it was just 1 or 2% better, he knew he was going to have a much greater chance to making the next shot, to winning the championship, and that's why he's been so successful. So even if you believe you're the Michael Jordan of sales, just know that the Michael Jordan of sales would still watch tape and get coaches and mentors and read. And if you're not reading constantly on sales, if you're not reading or watching videos, or if you're not practicing things, if you're not listening to yourself or asking for feedback so you can be better, then you're not the Michael Jordan of sales. Does that make sense? When somebody says they're the Michael Jordan of something, what does that mean?
The best.
They're the best, right? I'm the Michael Jordan at making pizza. That's the best pizza man in the world, right? And so if you're the Michael Jordan of sales, just know that doesn't mean you don't practice sales. That means that you are practicing sales harder than anyone else on the planet, even though you're already known as the greatest. Cool? This is a good episode, right?
Yeah, it's great.
I feel weird not having somebody to go back and forth with. So I was going back and forth with you. Sam, I don't even know if you guys can hear Sam. Do you think they can pick you up on the mic?
Maybe, yeah.
It's kind of cool. All right, cool. Well, thanks so much for watching. We're going to have an amazing episode next week. Go ahead and tune in. Thanks so much, and have a great week. Thanks so much for joining us today. If you like this episode, then subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Stitcher, and to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode. You can get all the links by going to thegsdshow.com. Thanks, and see you next time.